appreciate your presence and your contributions for these scholarly discussions. So for now, we shall, I want to give just like 1 or 2 minutes for our exhibitors. They have been very generous to us. They have sponsored us. We give them a minute or 2 to say something. So please, we shall give you maybe like 1 or 2 minutes. Then we shall be visiting your booths so that we can discuss with you the facilities that you have. So yesterday we had Equity Bank. We also had Transnational SACCO. Is KCB here? Anybody from KCB? Cooperative Bank? So I want to give this chance to the Centenary SACCO. Mr. Raicho, you can take 1 minute, please. As he has the work for Sabasta and be preparing 1 or 2 minutes, please.
Good morning. Let me start by saying I'm very grateful to be here from Centenary SACCO. And I want to say that Centenary SACCO is one of the SACCOs that are in Tharaka. And it started in May. Initially, it was called Access of Men SACCO because it was serving the members of Catholics. But it was registered in 2003. And now it is registered in the SACCO. And we are serving everyone. Therefore, everyone is invited to join Centenary SACCO. Our tent is there. You will visit us for more information. But before, I have very few things that I needed to say. First of all, to be a member of Centenary SACCO, you have to register with us. Once you register with us, depending on who you are, we will be able to offer you a product that we offer you immediately. That is, if you are from an institution that we have memorandum of understanding, once you join the SACCO, you will get the service, you will get the loan. If you need a loan, very fast, within 2 to 3 days, you will be having your money and you will be able to work and to do what you want them to do with the money. If you are from other institutions that will not have memorandum of understanding, then we will give you 3 months of saving. Then after the 3 months of saving, you will be able to get a loan which you can use to do business. That is per annum. Our loans are very cheap, so you can be able to acquire with your loan, pay with 1 month to up to 96 months. So you can choose the duration that you want. And we are very flexible. We will be able to advise you on the ways you are going to use your money so that you will not be a multi-borrower and also you have the problem of repayment. We will work with you once you join us. So I want to welcome you all to our tent so that we can give you into details what we have and what we offer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David Raicho. Dennis, please.
Morning once again. I'm Dennis. I'm very much delighted to be in this place. We've been here us severally, and we are glad we are invited here for the second time. My name is Bells, and Southern Star Circle, this is the year we are celebrating our third child year this year. It was June, June we are celebrating our third child year. Our circle was founded way back in 1994. I know majority of us at that time were not born. We were not wrong. So we are in this business for a very long time. Eh? So we are not new. And it is the farmers of Nithi who founded this circle way back in 1994. But we incorporated everyone. Initially it was called South Farmers Circle. But we have spread our wings to the rest of the counties. Currently we have 3 branches in Nairobi. We have 1 in Meru, 3 in Chuka, and 3 in Mara. So we are growing. And we are offering all manner of services, all manner of products suited for everyone, the employed, the business people. We also have fixed deposit account if you want to invest with us. Kuna wale pia wanataka kuinvest in shares kama una haraka ya pesa, and we are paying very good dividends at the end of every year. So everyone is welcome to join us. Our tent is right there for information, for details about the loans. Tumepatia wengine hapa ile university, kuna wale pia tumepatia. And we are growing. This is our third year in Tharaka, and so far so good. We have penetrated areas. I think most of the banks are not there, so you can be sure when visitors will be in the right place, and we are going to offer the best products suited to everyone of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Solution sample, please.
Good morning once again. My name is I'm glad to be here. This is my first time to be at Tharaka University for such an event. Solution Circle is not very new. We have over 32 branches. We have covered Northeastern, we are in Tharaka, we are in Meru, go to Isiolo, Nairobi. We are now the latest branch at Mombasa. All and assuming who can still enjoy our services at Mombasa. We also doing the research currently. We have united with the area to ensure that people who come from countries like Norway, you have access to that institution. You can be able to save, or you can send the money from abroad to our country, so that you can also help those who are in need, or you can also still invest in form of shares. We have over 30 years in service. Initially, we have got Meru Mwalimu Sacco, tulianzishwa na walimu, and I'm also glad that when I look at these people, I'm also planning for my master's as soon as possible, and I am considering. We are not coming to explain much about Solution Circle. We know circles are deposit takings. We have loans up to 10 years. Wale hawajaoa tunakupea loan ya kuoa na settle. 10 years is not a small period. We also give dividend advances. Sisi hatujamiki faida, lakini tunakupea pesa ya faida for up to 5 years. So we have grown. We have got branches in Nairobi, ukifika Tirun, tuko hapo, ukienda Kajiado, Bisil, and we are also working for a branch at Namanga. As soon as possible, we will be here. Mkikuja pale nje tutaongea. Pesa tunapeana kama moko. We just give you money with no very many conditions, because we want to empower each and every person. We want to the lowest level to ensure we have incorporated each kind of a person. Whether business wise, whether the business, feel free to pay a visit to us. About blessed day.
Thank you so much. And now we transition. We have an organization that is a community-based organization. We are doing a very good job in terms of transforming the community. Let me take this a chance to invite the Executive Director, Tharaka Women Welfare Program. Madam Anseta, please.
Thank you so much. Hope protocols observed. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning again. Good morning. My name is Anseta, as you heard, Kerigo, and come from this region. I'm elder here. I'm part of the groups that made sure the university came to Tharaka. So we know a lot about this place, and we have been always here. But I'm here to talk about our organization, which is called Tharaka Women Welfare Program. This is a program that started as a self-help group for women. This was 1996, long time ago. It's almost 28 years today. And it started to just talk about eliminating FGM, which was a barrier to education. And we did a lot of community awareness. I'm just being brief because we have a event here. When we finish, you can just wait and hear and see what we have done. A lot of community awareness where we lost even friendship with people because of what we were doing. Because people didn't believe FGM was harmful. And so we went through a lot of torture, a lot of intimidation, a lot of everything. And we started adult literacy classes those time, women groups, so that they could support their children in school, so that they could support their children not to go for FGM, so that they can go to school. And as we were just offering hope, we didn't have anything that we were offering these families, these groups. And then the children that came to us, as the alternative rite of passage were conducted, the children that we decided to support those that come from the armed backgrounds so that they can have hope, and others, they can entice others not to go through FGM now that they don't have, if they don't have any resources at home, so that they can also go to school and know that there are people out there who can help them. So ours was just hope. And when we started, we were only 20 families. Today I'm happy where we are. The empowerment of women and girls in this region is, I like what I see. That's why we have so many women in the university, so many empowered women, even here, even among directors that you have, the deans that you have here. You did meet somebody that passed through our hands. And I'm so proud when I see that. Here in the university, we have, this year alone, we have more than, we have 15 girls who we are supporting in learning, and we started supporting them from one. And we are happy to see what they are doing and taking subjects that girls don't like, because we are there to help them. And then through these sisters, all our programs are geared towards education. And we call them sisters because our priority was, the feminine gender. So anything that comes to the community comes through the feminine gender. That is the girl, that is the woman. And so we have our Sisters to School program, we have our Sisters Read program, which is part of the clubs that we have in school. So when we go to primary schools, we don't just go to the girls, we just go to all of them. So we have CMC classes, clubs, in the 63 schools in Tharaka North. We have been very about Tharaka North in terms of education, where we are giving the books in schools, library books. We have remote libraries in almost all those schools. And now that remote library is the one that has given birth to the big library that is Gatunga today, which has been sponsored by USAID. And we are happy for another program that we have with USAID, which is a remedial program in primary schools. So right now, we started last year in 2 schools. This year we went to 12 schools, and because we did what we wanted to do earlier, we finished it earlier than we expected. We took another 14 days. And what we are doing there, we are just doing remedy to the time takers. There are those children who are left behind because because they can't walk along with the others. And that's why we are here today as consumers of research, so that we can see how best we can support our community in education, both in primary and secondary schools and anywhere else. Then we have the ARP. The ARP, which we did in 1996, it was the first one in this nation, are always on in December. And we're having it in this December. So as you are here, we are going to have a big one this December. We are looking for well-wishers, those who want to assist us in one or two things that we do. And in that one, we have taken so many girls have gone through the ARP, and it's just to empower girls who they are and what they want to do. And so our tent is out there. If you want, you can come. It's us and ICT Hub. It has everything that a library needs, a lot of internet. So we call upon even the university students, the university teachers, those who are living along the market, can come there and do their studies. Right now we have a small challenge on timing because we are starting training programs, but we shall be extending our opening times because we close at 5, so we shall see how we can make it up to 8 so that other people that want to use it after normal hours can use it. So thank you for this opportunity. And I'm here, courtesy of Tharaka. Tharaka is my son. I've seen him grow up. I've nurtured him. And he's the one who introduced me to the subject of the conference at the university. I've never heard about it before, but now I'm here courtesy of him. And as I finished, let me say we are getting into a very serious collaboration with Tharaka University to see that together we lift up this community in all the ways that we can in women empowerment and education. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Manisenta. I can see equitable, you can move wherever you are. Yesterday we gave you guys a chance. So last but not least, I want to give a chance to the group that is having also the keynote speaker. I think you can introduce your group, Patrick and Rose. You can introduce your group, and then later we shall have the keynote from the country. Welcome from Africa, please.
He takes care of the farmers that we are working with on the regenerative agriculture in Tharaka level. I will not introduce my boss because she's the keynote speaker, Madam Mary Mnare, but she's the one who leads the Kenyan team. So, Farm Africa is an NGO that for this particular area we've been working in Embu and Tharaka on regenerative agriculture on a program called Strengthening Regenerative Agriculture in Kenya. It's more of a learning project whereby we've been trying to work with the farmers on regenerative agriculture practices to see that in terms of the productivity, we're able to accomplish in terms of productivity of the farmers and also safeguarding the environment. So for Tharaka terms of working with the farmers, because of the issue of the extension model with the government and the reduced extension taxes, whereby one extension officer from the previous research shows that one technical officer is able to serve around 3,000, and now currently almost going to around 5,000 because of the attrition. The model that we are using for the village-based advisors is to ensure that we have the last mile delivery of input and services to the farmers, where we build the capacity of the village-based advisors through the demonstration, be able to cascade the technologies, the know-how to the rest of the farmers, and in so doing, then we can be able to change the landscape. So we have had an ambitious target when the project started, because the project started in 2022 in Tharaka, of 20,000 farmers. So far, we've managed to reach approximately around 19,800 farmers or thereabout. And the idea is that if all those farmers were able to implement and adopt the regenerative agriculture practice, then we can be able to change the face of Tharaka in terms of land degradation and also improved productivity, so that farmers can be able to ensure that they also are able to partake in terms of aggregation or market aggregation and get extra incomes. Because my country director is speaking more, I would beg to leave at this particular session. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, from Africa. This is your day. Let us appreciate him and the team. Yes, take this opportunity whereby we are all going to welcome the keynote speaker from the team. That is Madam Mary Nyane, who is the country director from Africa. And she has the topic on regenerative agriculture. Noting that this university, our new generation of farming, we have got a lot of hope working with this team. In fact, we are so grateful that they have accepted to be with us this day when we have our research conference. And I know the team from Tharaka University. I don't know whether you are aware that we have already started farming with the team. I would wish that when you have your free time, your break, can you cross over the river Tharaka University? I don't know whether some of you know where River Tharaka University is. Across there, where we have very nice fruits, and check what Farm Africa is doing. Actually, we thought of going there. I was asking the director, why aren't we moving for some hunting there next year? Because we will be having very many vehicles and bridges and so many good things. Farm Africa will be here. We will tour their farming, rice farming, not in Moya or the western part, but in Tharaka University, and very many other good things. So we really appreciate their presence today, accepting to join us, and we are going to work together. And because they're going to give us all what it takes for this day and how we are going to work together, let me take this opportunity kindly to welcome Madam Mary Nyane and members. Let us give very good 3 claps. 1, 2, 3. Welcome.
as we connect. Welcome. Thank you very much, Madam Lucy. I'm very honored to be here. All protocols observed. Thank you for the introduction. As my colleague has said, it's been a journey for Farm Africa to dive deep into the agricultural matters, especially regenerative agriculture. And we are really honored to be in Tharaka. And above all, as one of the stakeholders to be identified with Tharaka University, and to even come and share what we do within this space in Tharaka. So, Patrick has given a very brief background, but I would like to say that Farm Africa is anchored on three particular approaches. That is agriculture, business development, and issues, matters, environment. And within agriculture, we provide last mile delivery, technical skills, market linkages, and providing trainings to the rural communities. Within the business arm, in terms of approach, we make sure that every work that we do, everything that we touch, there's a business aspect to it. So we support SMEs in various aspects. In all our projects, we embed business acumen so that we ensure that not only farmers gain technical expertise or skills, but they are able to know how to generate income from their enterprises. Matters environment are very key to us, and we ensure that we embed every project with areas that enhance the environment around the various value chains that we work in. So today I'm here to speak about our project, Regenerative Agriculture, and where we are at with that project, what we are looking to achieve. This is a project that is running for 3 years. We started in 2022 and late 2022, and we should be running it until sometime end of next year. We are working closely with various stakeholders, the Minister of Agriculture, Cairo, both input and output market systems, stakeholders, and various NGOs. So thank you very much for acknowledging our presence. So strengthening regenerative agriculture. This particular project is being funded by IKEA Foundation through AGRA. And the main mandate is to contribute to the development of food and farming systems within the sustainable framework by employing regenerative, context-specific innovations and models that will appreciate local diversity so that we can be able to attain climate resilience and food security for smallholder farmers. Now, overall, this particular project is supposed to reach 50,000 farmers. We are working in 2 counties, at Embu and Tharaka. And we are glad that we've been able to reach 52,000 with 19,800, as my colleague said in Tharaka. Sorry, editing, there's some feedback on this. I don't know if you can do something about it. The specific objectives for this particular project, number one, what we're looking at is to develop and validate and share context-specific private sector business models for the development of circular regenerative agriculture. That is our number one objective. Sorry, I've been given something here. Oh, all right. And number two is to enhance the productivity of farms and landscapes by employing appropriate mix of regenerative agriculture practices and input delivery system. And the third, what we are looking at is to enhance the capacity of local and national governments in developing and or enforcing policies in adoption promotion of the value chain practices. So these are main outcomes that we are looking to achieve, and I'm glad that we have some steps that in terms of progression and also results and impact, we are seeing something that is going to be beneficial for all of us. The particular crops, the regenerative agriculture is wide. What we are looking at specifically is to enhance the soil health for improved productivity, and main crops across the two counties that we are working in are the cereals and the pulses, maize, sorghum, green grams, bush beans, soybean, and palm millet. And then other cross-cutting value chains that we are engaging in are small stock, poultry, oats, vegetable, and agroforestry for resilience. Now, two specific approaches that we have taken a deep dive in is actually depending and scaling out of the regenerative agriculture, and strengthening the sustainability of actually the extension system using the village-based advisor model. And so we have 4 interventions that are helping us to implement or to promote regenerative agriculture with our farmers. And these interventions, number 1, sorry, maybe the details that I'll read here are not fully there, but please follow me. So the first intervention is sequestering of soil carbon via photosynthesis in plants with high biomass production. And we all know that plants absorb the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis, so that to convert it into organic matter and store carbon in their biomass. And this is particularly important for us because we look at production of crops or plants like cover crops, grasses, and trees to enhance carbon sequestration. And so this, we know that will contribute to climate change and mitigate in terms of reducing atmospheric carbon. And in this process, it will not only improve the soil carbon stocks, but also boost soil fertility and enhance economic resilience. The second intervention that we are looking at is enhancing interactions between the symbiotic soil microbiota and plants. And so between the plants and the beneficial soil microorganisms, what we are looking at is their critical role in nutrient uptake and overall plant health. And we know that these interactions will improve the plant accessibility to the essential nutrients, and also enhance disease resistance and promote healthy growth. And at the end of it, this particular project is looking to enhance plant productivity and also soil health. The third intervention is looking at employing biological systems to improve soil structure and water holding capacity, where we know that biological systems, including the organisms that are within the soil structure, the earthworms and others, using soil amenities like amendments like the compost and also application of mulch, contribute to soil aggregation, aeration, and having a stable kind of soil structure. And so what we are looking at is to enhance water holding capacity to create more resilient agricultural systems. The last one is actually to integrate livestock to influence ecosystem positively, services positively. And we know that incorporating livestock into the agricultural system will provide a range of ecosystem services, including nutrient recycling, cycling and pest control, and organic matter provision. And so this integration we are looking at to optimize resource use, enhance soil health, and improve overall farm productivity. And so to achieve this, then we have, when we look at regenerative agriculture, there are various practices that we have employed. To your extreme left, there's a green box, which has the listed regenerative agriculture practices that we are implementing. What I would like to say is that these are not new to us in terms of use of farmyard manure, mulching, use of cover crops, minimum tillage, the microdosing aspect, agroforestry, intercropping, crop rotation, soil water conservation structures. What we are doing is working with the farmers to look at the gaps in terms of the quality of these particular practices, the application of it, and also the sourcing and the maintenance of the same within the farms. Some of the practices are known in various ways, but however, we discovered that in our needs assessment and in our baseline, that yes, they're being used, but in terms of their application, in terms of their quality, we found out that there was a gap there, and that is what now we are trying to enhance to make sure that we are able to improve in terms of soil health, overall crop productivity. And so as we implement this, we have realized that it's able to help us to reduce use of pesticides and herbicides and also fertilizers. Not eradicate, just reduce. And then the impact that we are expecting, of course, reducing carbon emissions, reducing labor requirements, to have roots forming a stable carbon skeleton structure for water and nutrients, and then for roots also to be able to attract bacteria and fungi, what I've just said, and then reverse climate change by rebuilding soil organic matter and restoring degraded soil biodiversity. Just to give you a glimpse of what we have been able to do within our project, it's, as we said, it's a learning project, and we are collecting a lot of data through crop cuts. And so what we are doing is at the initial establishment of this project, we sat down with the various stakeholders, including the agro-technical arm, to come up with a demo protocol, which helped us to put down 3 categories of demonstration plots. And number 1 was field trial plots, and then we have the mother demo plots and the baby demo plots. And so in the trial plots, I don't think I have that slide. In the trial plots, we had 4 treatments. And what we are doing, as you, from our second outcome, we have to look at mixes of regenerative agriculture. In regenerative agriculture, we cannot only use one practice. There has to be a blend and a mix for us to be able to get maximum results. And so minimum, we used 4 treatments in a plot, and the main, the first 3 treatments, minimum tillage is a common factor. Then microdosing, manure, and mulch or cover crop for the first treatment. Then for the second treatment, we had just minimum tillage, microdosing, and manure. Then the last treatment was on minimum tillage and mulch or cover crop and microdosing. The 4th treatment was just the basic farmer practices that we were able to provide, to set up. Mother demos, these were run by the VBAs. We'll come to that when we talk about the VBAs, who were able to pick what was preferred to them in terms of implementation. And so we had only 3 treatments for them: minimum tillage, microdosing, manure, and mulch or cover crop. And then second treatment was minimum tillage, microdose, and manure or mulch or cover crop, depending on what they could be able to afford, and then the farmer practice. And so through the 2.5 years that we've been implementing this project, I would say that we have some results that we can already present. We take evidence on a season-based data, crop data, that is analyzed and provided to us to be able to see the strides that we are making. And here in Tharaka, I'm glad to report that it's actually this project is being implemented in 4 counties, including Kitui and Makueni. Out of all these 4 counties, we have another partner in Kitui and Makueni. Tharaka is actually leading in terms of adoption of the RA practices. And the main practices, as you can see, the blue bars, we have microdosing as one of the highest adopted practices, and then integrated pest management. We're also looking at using of cover crop, crop rotation. There are more results that have led to that. And so we are seeing that there's an appreciation of the regenerative agriculture practices within Tharaka County. If we compare that with the Embu County, they have been able to adopt the mulching and the crop rotation more. But if you can see that the numbers are quite low, and the numbers for Tharaka are quite high in terms of adoption. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. And so, overall, when we talk about regenerative agriculture practices, when we look at across all the farmers that we are working in, there's a high adoption of the organic manure, use of the organic manure, and intercropping. And this is because we've been able to enhance trainings on how to do issues to do with the farmyard, using farmyard manure and also composting, and intercropping for the purposes of diversification of production, but also taking advantage of the land that is available for the farmers. So I would like to present a table that provides some basic crop records, that shows what capital or what are we looking at in terms of costings for the regenerative agriculture. So in the time that we've been able to implement this particular project, we have seen that the initial cost for engaging regenerative agriculture is actually high at the initial setup. And why are we saying this? Is because what we are looking at is the different types of practices depending on what the farmer needs to pick. You find that accessing farmyard manure for rather large piece of land is quite an expensive venture, but also time consuming in terms of application and labor intensive. We also looked at things to do with the preparation of furrows and terracing and dripping, depending on the landscapes, depending on the landscapes, and also the soil types. Then the costings usually vary very much. Yeah, it's quite very hot. And so when we look at this table, I just picked a table from one of the counties, and we looked at the different practices that we put in, and we saw that one of the practices right now that is providing kind of a high return with a base cost record of 10.9 is manure and microdosing. Microdosing is the use of split applications of fertilizers. These were recommended through CALRO and other technical persons that we were working with. Manure, mulch, and microdose number 3 on the rank. Mulch and microdose is 8.6. However, what we are expecting, the gap is closing. We'll be having another data verification meeting, and the gap is closing in, and from what we are seeing is that manure, mulch, and microdosing is actually closing the gap with manure and microdose. Why? Because we are seeing that over time, then the applications and the maintenance of the farm, if done well, then they're able to help in terms of improving productivity, but also reducing the initial cost of production of herbicide, pesticides, and other input costs. So this is what we are seeing right now. We are hoping to be able to provide even more information in terms of what is best moving forward. The other thing that I would like to mention about, please tell me in terms of time, if I'm all right. Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, fine. The other thing that I would like to mention about regenerative agriculture is that it is a very lucrative venture for our farmers, and what we have realized is that we are able to build different business models from it to ensure that there is a sustainability aspect to it. And what we are looking at is building market systems and opportunities for entrepreneurs, especially the village-based advisors that my colleague has talked about. And what we are looking at is to ensure that we are able to enhance the business-to-business approaches, the business-to-customer approaches, so that then we are able to make sure that there are enterprises that are running within the regenerative agriculture practices, regenerative agriculture space. And we have enhanced issues to do with aggregation of output markets, looked at crop insurance, digitization, looking at pay-to-work models that can be able to work with the VBAs and the farmers, agroforestry and beekeeping, and also kitchen gardens. Of course, other areas of revenue streams are many that can also be incorporated within the regenerative agriculture space. Let me explain a bit about the village-based model that we are using. As we say, that this is one of the extension drivers that has helped us to reduce or to enhance the extension delivery, last mile extension delivery. And so the village-based advisor model is where we work with the local persons to be able to, these are more or less what you call the champion farmers or the lead farmers that you're working with on the ground to be able to be able to deliver trainings and provide linkages to other various stakeholders. So these are people that have helped us to reach the 50,000+ farmers, and we continue to provide capacity for them, especially grow them in terms of their entrepreneurship, to be able to improve their capacity. In terms of sustainability, we are working very closely with the county governments, so that then they can also be recognized as part of the extension service. And we are glad that in recent times, the national government, in terms of extension papers and policy, they have been able to be recognized as part of the extension service, and we hope that this can be adopted by the counties so that we can enhance the delivery of services through the VBA model. And they're the ones who have been able to help us to be able to cascade down the regenerative agriculture practices to the farmers. And in terms of the issues that we are facing as we implement the regenerative agriculture project, of course, number one is that, as I said, initial investment is very high. So in terms of the return on investment may not manifest immediately, but within time, then we're able to, our farmer is able to gain the profits. And we are seeing this as at least within 2 cycles of crop production, then a farmer starts to see the benefits in terms of incomes. In terms of research, there are very many areas of regenerative agriculture, and this, in terms of documentation, is very limited. So we are really looking to how best to be able to generate information with AGRA. AGRA has been able to put down some various documents on regenerative agriculture, but I think we still need more in terms of this area, so that then we may help the counties to see the benefits of regenerative agriculture and actually adopt it as one of the practices that can be able to be employed. We are looking at, of course, lack of adequate funds. This is basically with the VBAs. Village-based advisors who are engaged in some of these income-generating activities. You find that some of them have adopted, probably have become either agents or people who are now supplying inputs or aggregating produce from the farmers, and they require capital base to be able to run such enterprises. Issues of land tenure and access issues. It's about land ownership. I think we all know about this. And this is one of the places that sometimes hinders the farmers to fully engage in regenerative agriculture practices, because you discover these are kind of long-term investments within the farming communities. Of course, cultural barriers are here with us, and just looking at how best to be able to look at the traditional farming practices and social norms which create resistance to change to the RM methods. So this is one of the things that we are dealing with. As I looked at our results, I only saw in terms of, we have 70% in terms of people who can access and have a knowledge in terms of the trainings about regenerative agriculture. But in terms of adoption, then the number drops to about 58%. That is data that we have and we continue to build. And hopefully that when the project is almost coming to an end, that we can also share the finalities of this in terms of what we have gathered. So we have emerging issues on and trends on agroforestry in terms of environmental compliance, which of course increases the cost of some of the implementing partners. This is now on those who would want to be able to take this on another level, and they of course shy away from this. There are very many numbers here. These are just numbers, preliminary numbers that we continue to work on. And as I said, the regenerative agriculture project works with various stakeholders, and we ensure that the VBAs and the farmers do not get stuck in terms of access to inputs, nor in terms of the aggregation, and also in terms of just selling of their products. And so we've onboarded, or we are working with 8 traders to make sure that the VBAs are able to function and provide linkage to enhance input and output systems for the farmers. We have a component on agroforestry that has really taken a different turn within our workings. We are working with ACON, who are working on carbon credits. And as I said at the beginning, that we are really looking at enhancing agroforestry so that we are able to improve in terms of carbon sequestration. And we have an opportunity to work with ACON, where we've been able to onboard at least 21,000 farmers. And today we have been able to disburse, or farmers have been able to receive some carbon revenues, carbon revenues from that, and we continue to
to engage farmers. Right now here in Tharaka, we have 7,000 farmers who have been onboarded for carbon credit revenues. And we hope that we can be able to continue to onboard more. We have a structure that supports the VBAs. So 70 super VBAs that support any other VBA that come into the program or are initiated or have shown interest in terms of supporting the extension system. And then we work with 43 technical staff from the county governments, both in Embu and Tharaka Nithi. And so these are some of the just basic learnings in terms of what makes the regenerative agriculture component to thrive within this particular project and space. Please help me. Okay. So as I've said, that in terms of agroforestry being one of the regenerative agriculture practices, we've been able to help the farmers to generate carbon credits. We have onboarded the farmers in two tranches. The first tranche was 4,000 farmers, then the second one was 7,000, and now we are at the 20,000 mark. And for our initial 4,000 farmers, last year, end of last year and beginning of this year, we were able to sell CRUs worth 24,000 metric tons of CRUs. And what the farmers were able to receive is a total of about 630,000 pounds to them, and they receive 50% in cash and 50% in kind. And in kind, we have been distributing tree seedlings of different types that will be able to improve looking at that particular component in terms of agroforestry. 98,000 trees have been distributed. However, we are looking to bridge the gap. Most of the farmers were only receiving between 1,000 and 5,000, and a minority of them, 25 of them, between 50 and 120. And this is something we're looking to bridge the gap as we continue to enhance the planting of trees. I want to end it at what are the enablers that we have been looking at, and what are we looking for even as we stand here and present this project. The enablers have been the policies, private sector engagement, local knowledge and practices that we have encountered and seen, issues to do with extension service in terms of learning, the market demand in terms of the products, and the technological advances that are also available in terms of digitization. But there are areas and there are things that are inhibiting in terms of the RA practices, especially enhancing or progressing with the agroforestry, economic constraints, land tenure, cultural barriers. I think I've mentioned this. But however, in terms of the biggest component that this project is not actually addressing is the research component, in terms of how best do we leverage with the work that is already going on in terms of regenerative agriculture, but also looking at providing enough information that can help Ministry of Agriculture and other stakeholders to be able to drive this particular component. I know it sometimes is put together with other approaches like conservation agriculture and others, but then how best do we provide information that can help in terms of progressing this particular component. So as I finish, okay. Okay. So two things, I won't read all that, but two things that are coming out clearly is that enhancing of the extension staff is very key. Research component is really a demand. As much as we are doing all the crop cuts and all that, it's really something that really needs a boost in terms of what can we be able to do to be able to enhance that. And I hope my colleague from Norway, as we have the panel discussion, we can be able to address some of these issues. And then digitization of the same. Regenerative agriculture provides a very huge opportunity in terms of enhancing agricultural productivity, but then how easily can people or farmers access information about the same? So let me end it at that. I hope I've been helpful in terms of providing this information. It's not very, it's bits and pieces. We have our booth. If there's more information that you need, more data that you'd want to look at, certain questions that you would not answered, please, you can be able to reach us to Madam DVC. Thank you.
Wow, and another big clap, one. Thank you so much, Madam Mary, Director, Country Farm Africa. So many things. I said our university, the niche area is on prior and farming, so we are there, and that's how we are working with you. We've just started. Looking at all this, I feel we've just started and we have a lot. I was also thinking about Madam Anseta. I don't know how you come in. You know, the village-based farming, the clubs, the young women there, this gives us a ground for connecting, partnering for the sake of this country and all of us. So it has been wow. I may not say everything, but really you've done it. You know, I was thinking about the research bit. The delegates, you are here, you can see the areas to do your research on agriculture and all those areas on the regenerative agriculture. I was also thinking of the need to help the farmers harmonize the climatic changes and their farming activities. Like at this particular time, the farmers are planted, maybe some are yet to plant. The climatical changes are there, so the team has a lot to do for the sake of agriculture. Since this country is also agricultural based. I was also thinking of the carbon credits, and we also have agricultural settings in our university, and all of us have done it. We need to know much about these carbon credits, and so that we all benefit. So that's why the team is so crucial with us here, and a lot has been given. So that's why we are here to share knowledge, to connect, to work together, so that the socio-economic bit of this country is transformed. I just feel like inviting Dr. Marciano, he's the head of the Dean Faculty of Agriculture, to say something, just brief. We are getting to the panel discussion so that we interrogate more of this, what Mary has given us. The director, he will be getting him here after dinner's given something. I want to excite that faculty and all of us so that to trigger their mind that we are here with Farm Africa, and even if it's one word, what are you seeing for this country and for all of us? Then director, you will come in for the panel discussion. We'll try to move as fast as we can. So Dean, Farm Africa is with us in Tharaka University and in this country, and also virtual. Welcome.
Thank you, Prof. And thank you, Farm Africa, for that very nice presentation. My name is Dr. Marciano Motiga. As introduced, I am the Dean, Faculty of Life Sciences and Natural Resources. And by training, I'm an ecologist. To be more specific, agroecologist. So when we present anything to do with the agriculture, anything to do with the natural resources, you touch my nerves. And I'm so happy to hear what your presentation. And as the professor said, that one of our niche areas in this university is the dry land agriculture. And I think the issue is we underline the one dry land agriculture because the university is located in dry area. And in dry area, we have several challenges when it comes to agriculture. And I thought, as Professor was calling me, I thought we should see that we are doing a very nice thing. And then you can think about what has been left out that can be addressed in the dry lands of this place. You see, we have specific type of the soil in dry lands of Tharaka that we call terrosos. And characteristically, they are very erodible and they are easily leachable. When the rain comes, the water surface, the runoff is very fast, and it goes with the minerals. When you practice agriculture, like irrigation, the soils are going to allow a lot of percolation, and then thereafter, due to very high temperatures, the water is going to come up with minerals and deposit them on the surface of the soil. So there will be salinization and a lowering of pH. That has been a very big challenge in this place. That may be having water, but still production is going to be low. And the biggest limitation in production in agriculture in this place, again, is the availability of water moisture. We don't have sufficient water moisture. So the rainfall is very unreliable. Dr. David knows that, Daniel knows that. Sometimes we expect rainfall, the rainfall does not come. When it comes in torrents. And if you connect that with the type of soils that we have, then you can imagine we're in a very big crisis. So we should think about how do we manage water and how do we manage our soils, particularly in the terrosos. We have some areas, of course, we have volcanic lava, like in Kondi, Mukodhima, and the Tonyai, but the bigger part of Tharaka lands are the phelosic soils that have those characteristics I've said. So I think, basically, I was thinking about how do we manage these soils and how do we manage this water that is coming in rain and is also being provided by irrigation. That is the balance maybe from Africa's right next proposal you can consider seriously. The other thing we are having here is what is called slash and burn. Slash and burn. And you know we are talking about regenerative agriculture. And I want to believe you are regenerating water and the soil biota for carbon dioxide sequestration. I believe so. You want to increase soil biodiversity. For sure, you want to improve soil structure for sure. And you also want to enrich the soil with minerals. When we burn completely, we destroy everything, including soil structure, soil moisture, soil biodiversity, and then we destroy ourselves completely. What do we do about that? What is our approaches as people from this place we put in place? Lastly, we have been having so many projects that are coming to promote agriculture in Tharaka. I hope I'm not becoming so much Tharaka, but that's why we have a lot of problems. We've been having very many organizations. But as a resident of this place, we are seeing very little adoption. Very little adoption. We had Caritas, we had very many organizations. But still, you go to the villages, the level of adoptions is very low. The yield from the crops is still very low. People have tried poultry farming. It has not been productive, it has not been profitable. People have tried improved livestock production. It has not been profitable. There is no benefit from the investment. What are the issues? We should look as a university and as several organizations, including Farm Africa, where is the disconnection between the enablers, between the donors, between the projects, and then adoption levels. As a university, as Professor said, we want to become a center of dryland agriculture. And we want to have several demonstrations and possibly a lot of research to see how we balance all those factors and improve production. Because by the end of the day, it's about production, it's not about anything else, it's productivity of the soil. Then lastly, we have the climate change, and I'm happy that you have several mitigation measures in your project. And let us remember that carbon in the atmosphere is converted to organic materials, and in that form, it has no impact on climate change. So the more trees we plant, the more biodiversity we preserve, the more we address the issues of climate change. Thank you, Director. I can speak the whole day because this is my region.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mariciano, and thank you, Madam Merenyare, for the presentation. So I think those questions can be addressed during the panel discussion, but something that I have that maybe you can think about. In Tharaka University, we are planting so many trees. I've been engaging Patrick about carbon credits. I sent him an email, and I got the response. I know that Farm Africa and the ACON, you work with the small order farmers. Let us know, how can Tharaka benefit on carbon credits? Because I was requesting Tharaka University to be onboarded so that we can receive funds from carbon credit. We have thousands of trees here, which means if farmers are getting, small scale farmers are getting 20,000, Tharaka University can get almost one M or something like that. Please assist us. If we cannot be onboarded with Farm Africa or ACON, how can we benefit from carbon credit? So next we shall be having, that one we will answer during the panel discussion. So next we shall be having a panel discussion. Please let me have Madam Merenyare. Can be seated there. We can have, we have Dr. Hiti. Our moderator should sit here. You can sit here. Then we can have Mr. Erickson. Erickson can sit here. Yeah. Then Professor Musalia, please. Thank you. Then this one will take it. Then we want to have somebody from Equity. I don't know. Can somebody check for me a representative from Equity Bank? Patrick, in case of any inputs you can give. Or should we bring you here? Meanwhile, as I wait for, I think the guy from Equity has not come. Patrick, just grab this seat. Oh, the space. Let's have kuja pande hii. Alafu set him right here. Yeah. Set him right here. And then the other mic can be there. Yeah. Did we share the questions, please? Yeah, the questions we have. Oh, you have them there. Can we have the projected or?
I can even read.
Oh,
so that they don't have the markings.
They don't have the markings? Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, okay.
So the session will be moderated by Dr. Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys, and thank you participants for having found time to join us in this important topic of regenerative agriculture. And as you know, the government of Kenya is very committed to agricultural productivity. You know that under the better, you know now we are under the better, bottom-up economic transformation agenda, better. And one of the 5 key better pillars is agriculture. Then the other one is housing and human settlement. The other one is MSME and MSME economy. The fourth is health. The fifth is digital and the superhighway economy. So those are questions that you can be asked anytime when you go to any government interview, because they want you to be aware of the key focus areas of the government in the year 23-27. Now, our panelists, thank you much for finding time, and I know we have Agra and the team led by Mary and my professor there, and Erickson. I think the first question that I needed to start with, although in the upside down manner, is I wanted Madam Mary to clarify, now that she has presented to us regenerative agriculture, what is the difference between regenerative agriculture and smart farming or smart agriculture? Could we have a difference, or they basically born on the same thing? Madam Mary. Oh, Mike, yeah. Mike, please. Yeah. Regenerative agriculture and the climate smart agriculture. Do we have a difference? Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What I can say is that regenerative agriculture and climate smart agriculture, actually, they both aim to improve the agricultural sustainability and resilience. I mean, they all contribute to that. However, regenerative agriculture actually primarily emphasizes on improving the soil health, generating biodiversity, and looking at the ecosystem services. I mean, it focuses on actually regenerating life into the soil.
Yeah.
Climate smart looks at, it's a vehicle where we are focusing on areas that provide adoption and just building resilience into the climate, into climate change.
Yeah, okay.
And basically this is where now you look at specific practices that enhance productivity, soil water management, issues to do with using dry-tolerant crops, dry-tolerant varieties, looking at implementing water conservation technologies, specific areas that help to enhance or to improve the productivity. So they all converge at the place where regenerative agriculture is geared to productivity through bringing life to the soil, but climate smart then brings the vehicles on how to enhance that further.
Okay, I think she has, Dr. Doro, yes, has some interjection. Yeah, please.
As I said during my presentation, that regenerative agriculture is also in other places. It's a very controversial name. That's what I can say. It's a very controversial name because in other institutions they put conservation agriculture, and then regenerative agriculture is one of the practices that are within there. So how you take it and how you use it in terms of enhancing productivity, then it depends on how you're approaching it.
Doc, I think that's okay. Of course, we'll come for questions. I wanted you to hold your horses a bit. Hold your horses. I know Mheshimiwa Daktari is there. Hold your horses a bit. I'll come for interjective questions, please. So that we, because of time also. Do you allow me to proceed? Yeah. So the next question, of course, I wanted now to go back to Professor Musalia because of the issue of academia and what you, Tharaka University, have been doing. We know from contemporary knowledge that agriculture has been viewed for a long time as something that is not economical, something that is not attractive, a practice that cannot attract the young people. Now, how, in your opinion now, Prof, how do you think this regenerative agriculture can help attract more young people, more labor into agriculture? Prof.
Yeah, thank you for that question. And maybe as I start to answer it, I think one question which we should ask ourselves. Why is that agriculture being what? Unprofitable? One of the reasons is because of the deteriorating soil conditions, the fertility and so on. So I agree. Regenerative agriculture has a lot. If we can be able to improve on the soil fertility, then definitely we are going to make it to be profitable.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, it means that you'll use a lot of fertilizer to be able to meet the nutrients requirements of the plants for their growth.
Mm-hmm.
But then regenerative agriculture comes in a way whereby we will be able to minimize on the expense which goes in the inputs in terms of fertilizer and so on.
Yeah.
And also without affecting, having negative effects in terms of, if we use a lot of fertilizer, definitely one of the things which come up is that we end up having some residues and so on, which will have a negative effect.
Yeah.
So I think regenerative agriculture is better.
Okay, so let's go to, give him a clap. I think the others, we are not giving them a clap, but we'll go around. Now, Prof, we can go to Oyvind Eriksson. We know we are trying to encourage the north to south learning, north to south practices. Now, based on what she has presented, Madam Mary, what Prof is saying, what do you think we need to do as Africa to either use regenerative agriculture or any other agricultural practice?
That was a really large, big question. But I would like to say something about what I experienced yesterday. I was able to go to the crossing of the rivers with the waterfalls. What's the name of the rivers?
River Tana and River Kavita.
Yeah.
The confluence.
Yes, that was quite an experience because we were guided by a local. He knew everything. We met the fishermen, and during this journey, I saw several things in sustainability. I saw infrastructure with roads that were not always very good. There was a truck in front of us. I don't know how he was able to pass one very bad bridge. And I saw livestock. I saw red soil. I saw people carrying water. I saw mostly goats, and it was very dry. And the level of water was very low. So and then I said, why don't people live closer to the river? And that's because who's on the land and everything like that. So this all put together, I would say I would go back to the pillar of social sustainability, and people seems to want to live where they have lived. That is due to that what could be, because the worst thing that could happen, you said north-south, is if people have to move. They have to migrate to another place because the soil, like the professor said, it's very difficult to regenerate. I don't know much about that, but the thing I know about this connection with mitigation and adaptation. So if it could be something done in order to adaptation, because the farming in Europe, as I have seen, it's not longer traditional, it's inside tents, it's inside farming. I don't know if this is possible, but to think, but then back to the social part, it's up to competence, up to tradition, culture, and all these things, so it's not that easy to turn thing around. So this, for me, it's very complex, and what the professor said, it's tried a lot of things, and I will end with our guide, Silas, that I got his number, and we are about to meet up. He said, we will start with planting trees along the river. We will start replanting trees along the river because it won't erode and it will keep the moist in the soil. Something like that.
Okay. I think he is giving us an example of what we saw when we took him round yesterday, so that he can see firsthand the effect of climate change and other issues around culture. But thank you very much. Give him a clap because of even remembering Cyrus. That guy was guiding us. Now, thank you, Ovid. Now, the next question comes to you, Patrick. Tharaka, of course, I think you are the local representative. Yeah. Yes, because you are the local representative. You have seen how the farmers use a lot of pesticides, how they use a lot of inputs, so that they can, for a lack of a better word, beseech the soils to produce something for them. Now, again, how can, of course, in the process of using these pesticides, some of them harmful to the environment, harmful to the soils, harmful to the soil biota, as Dr. was saying, it means the production becomes very expensive. Now, how can regenerative agriculture and your organization help us to really overcome these costs and make farming profitable? Patrick.
Okay. Thank you. In terms of maybe, and get back to the last question that you had asked about the difference between climate smart and regenerative agriculture. Yes. Because on regenerative agriculture, we're talking about the now that paradigm shift between now what has been used. Because on the climate smart agriculture, we are more, it is more on increasing productivity. You're looking at one line, increasing the productivity, but not looking probably at the environment, because in, let's say, climate smart agriculture, we use more of herbicides. In regenerative agriculture, we don't recommend the use of herbicides. So in terms of regenerative agriculture, we want to, or the organization has been promoting that there is increased biodiversity. We can be able to improve the soil health. So when the soil health is improved, it means that in terms of the soil fertility and the fauna, flora, and the microorganisms within the soil, and then promoting those beneficial is it insecticide organisms that cannot be able to take care of the harmful microorganisms. So in that respect, that means that continuous adoption of regenerative agriculture practice by the farmers at the end of the day, and this is what Madam Mary, when she was presenting about adopting the regenerative agriculture practices, what they need to do, that you have reduced use of insecticides, reduced use of herbicides, reduced use of fungicides, so that we can be able to ensure that the farmer has less cost of production, because what is maybe causing our farmers to use more chemicals is because there is resistance in terms of the chemical usage, and the reason why there is resistance is because of overuse of those inorganic pesticides, and at the expense of what used to control the environment. And what especially, and my colleague here will attest to, that most of our farmers we've been training in the region, we ask them, currently, are you able to do sorghum production or green gram production without the use of chemicals? And the answer is no. Initially, what used to happen is that the farmer would be able to plant sorghum and green grams without using chemicals. But because of the overuse, so that paradigm shift is needed so that we can be able to incorporate regenerative agriculture more and ensure that the beneficial microorganisms are able to coexist in the atmosphere at the expense of these others. And in so doing, our farmers who are doing green grains, sorghum, or those cereals and pulses can be able, with time, to reduce on the chemicals. Remember, in regenerative agriculture, we don't say that we do away with chemicals or organic, but we somehow reduce so that there is that balance, the balance, and that's why we are balancing what we are using and also the environment, what the environment can be able to support. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you can still give him a clap. Give him a, Prof.
Yeah, I think then maybe someone may ask this question.
Yeah.
We are recommending that we minimize on the use of pesticides.
Yeah.
Are these crops really going to survive? So in addition to that, what they do is to go in for other alternative ways of controlling these ones.
Pesticides.
This thing which is called integrated pest management, IPM. Like using varieties which are resistant to those pests and so on and so on. So we can reduce the use of pests, but then go in for management practices that will ensure that we have plants which are able to survive in that environment.
Yeah, in fact, Prof, while you are there, you are in fact leading me to the other question now. On the practices and procedures and technologies that you think, of course, you might be assisted by Patrick, but as a scholar, you must know this. What are some of these technologies or practices or methods, as you have said, the integrated pest management? What are the other technologies that you can use really to go into the regenerative agriculture? Prof, you can pick it from there.
I'm really not an agricultural.
Yeah, no, but generally. Okay, so you assisted. Okay.
I think I can give this to Mary.
It's okay. Give a proper crap because you're in academia, you must accept where you. Okay, proceed, Mary.
Oh, fantastic. So apart from just integrated pest management, aspects like agroforestry are very key.
Agroforestry.
Yes, they are very key. Looking at crop animal engagement.
The rotation, what used to do?
Crop and animal integration.
Okay.
Yeah, because they benefit each other in terms of providing the the manures and all that for the crop. So that crop animal integration is very important to be able to enhance and complement the regenerative agriculture. Of course, what we were talking earlier about, I think, is what we are alluding to, that regenerative agriculture and climate smart are driven to the same thing.
Yes.
So regenerative agriculture looks at enhancing the soil health.
Yes.
And bringing back life.
Yes.
But then climate smart provides, it's the driver of productivity. What other ways, good agricultural practices that we can even complement to ensure that the microorganisms and etc., whatever Patrick has been saying, is actually enhanced, so they come together. So every other aspect under climate smart, I think, also provides that particular support.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Prof, you wanted to interject before you went to
I think she has now you see, if also you need to increase the fertility of the soil, one of the recommendations is to minimize the disturbance of the soil. So one of the other practices is minimal tillage.
Yeah.
In fact, these days we have this practice of not plowing. You just go in and
specific.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is one of the other practices that we use.
Yeah. David wanted to add a point from Norway now to Kenya.
From Norway. Not knowing so much, but I know that the culture is really strong. It's small farmers on a large area, and they thrive and they try to do it in a very small scale. Could it be a question to discuss to make a cooperative and to make them collaborate Because when I came to the university, I was so surprised. Is it really possible to make an oasis, a green oasis, in this dry land? So I was thinking it should be possible also to make an oasis where we went yesterday, but you have to come together or locate or something. This is just maybe a provoking question, but after trying out so many things, is it someone that want to comment on that?
I think Mary can answer whether you have an oasis here at Tharaka University.
No, the thing is that I can see small farmers, doing as good as they can, carrying water. Everyone is carrying their own water. Everyone is having their own goats. Everyone has having their own lands. To come together and see, okay, we will fix this together. I don't know.
Okay, Dr. Marciano, you wanted to put some point?
Yeah, I think I can talk about that. In this region, I think what we have are what we call the water pans.
Yeah.
And the small dams. So we have a number of farmers who have come together so that they make the pans. When the rains come, they collect that water.
Yeah.
But then one of the big challenges which we have here is that sometimes the rain may not be all that much. It may not be able to fill the dams and so on. But I agree that is a very good way we should move, encourage farmers to make these water pans. I think we have been working with Dr. Marciano. You can add.
Yeah, Dr. Marciano, yes. Yeah, give him a mic, give him a mic. Give him a mic, even this one I can give him. Yeah, give him a mic.
You see, I am talking because I'm also a farmer in this region.
Yes.
And I want to inform Mary, overuse of pesticide in this region is at critical level. It's very bad, I'm telling you.
Yes.
And now when we're talking about regenerative agriculture, and chemicals kill indiscriminately both the insect beneficial and the microbiota. And I think we have that very big problem. Overuse of pesticides, and most of them are from organic origin. They are not biodegradable. They remain in the soil for a long time, and I'm worried what are the residues that are left in the crops that we consume, and their impact that are likely to accumulate in our bodies. So that's a key problem that we must do what? Address. And then there is a paradigm shift in these practices, Madam Mary, that farmers, initially, they were doing small farms, and they could be able to plant early and weed small farms and finish. But because they want to cover a big area nowadays, they have very big farms. So they want to come back to waiting for them to come, then they plow and they plant. By the time the crop mature, most of the pests from the insect have also matured. So the cycle are complete. So by the time the flowering come, there are a lot of pests. So they are going to use a lot of pests. But one way that we should teach our people to do is doing dry planting. By the time the flowering come, which is the critical time for controlling the pests are already within the cycle. The eggs have not hatched to talk about it. So let us tell our farmers to do the dry planting. Then the other thing is a connection between productivity and the practices, like minimum tillage, like lack of use of herbicides, lack of control of the pest. The farmer is there to produce and get something. He will do everything
to get something.
So how do we connect the two? That is the big thing. I think again, I would suggest that next project that we write, kindly consider, because you are regenerating. This is a restoration of the initial nature of the soil and the ecosystems. Then use of indiscriminate pesticide is a very big issue here. Thank you.
Yeah, it appears Farm Africa, you might have to set camp to do a lot of research, to do a lot of proposals, to do a lot of because the problem is dire. It is serious, really. You can see, Prof. So I think that's a discussion that we'll continue. I know Bwana Maruta was there. I wanted him to talk before I go to the last question, yeah, Bwana Maruta, give him a mic. He's also graduating soon with a PhD, so we're gonna be referring him to Dr. Maruta as soon as possible. But for now,